Hey, it's Vegas. Oh, don't mind the suit. I'm just on my way to the courthouse to see how CD Projekt Red will try to defend themselves from the monstrosity they created. Sorry, I just hate being lied to. Which is why I'm illegally downloading the data files of all their games, because that's the only way to show a company we don't appreciate them lying to us, right? So in case you've been living under a rock or just don't play video games, Cyberpunk has been getting a few complaints, let's just say, and whether you find that warranted or not, I think it's still a fun topic to talk about because what's more fun than a lawsuit? Scott The Woz, cease and desist. Oh man. Now, lawsuits aren't uncommon in the video game industry. They even date back to 1972 with one of the first home video game consoles, the Atari.
So in 1972, Atari released Pong, which is basically the first video game ever, and let me tell you, the gameplay is amazing.
Okay, so maybe it kinda sucks now, but you gotta admit, this was pretty revolutionary at the time.
Now, Ralph Baer, creator of the Magnavox Odyssey, another video game console out at the time, saw this and filed a lawsuit against Atari's co-founder, Nolan Bushnell, stating that Atari's Pong was strikingly similar to Magnavox's electronic table tennis, and that Bushnell had copied their version after he played the game at a Magnavox dealership demo a few months prior to Pong's release. Now at the time, Atari was still in its infant stage as a company, with very little money to their name, and if they took the case to trial and undoubtedly lost, they likely wouldn't have the funds to make payroll. So, Bushnell made the smart decision to settle the claim. As part of the settlement, Atari would continue selling Pong in arcades and home consoles across North America while paying license and royalty fees to Magnavox.
Okay, so this case represents a pretty interesting issue regarding illegal downloading.
In 2009, a 24-year-old man from Australia named James Burt somehow bought an early version of New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii, then illegally uploaded it to the internet. The file was downloaded more than 50,000 times in a week before Nintendo caught wind of it. Nintendo and Burt came to an out-of-court agreement that required James to pay $1.5 million, which reflected Nintendo's loss of revenue, and for the illegal pirating of their video game.
And if that doesn't show you how ruthless Nintendo can be, they made poor old Burt pay an extra $100,000 to cover the court costs, but at least he got an exclusive Wind Waker statue. In 2010, a Hawaiian man by the name of Craig Smallwood filed a lawsuit against company NCSoft for making their video game Lineage 2, get this, too addictive.
Smallwood claimed that from 2004 to 2009, he had invested more than 20,000 hours playing the game and averaged just about 12 hours of gameplay each and every day. If that wasn't enough, he further claimed he became psychologically dependent and addicted to Lineage 2 and was, quote, unable to function independently in usual daily activities such as getting up, getting dressed, bathing, and communicating with his friends and family. He even compared the situation to having a heroin addiction.
What the fuck? No wonder why people hate gamers.
Now, luckily the case didn't go anywhere, as it was thrown out by the court in 2011, and Craig Smallwood was referred to psychological counseling. Oh my god.
Perhaps the most infamous lawsuit in all of video game history.
So, Hot Coffee was a mod able to be downloaded for GTA San Andreas, wherein the main character CJ was able to take his girlfriend out for hot coffee. Now, Rockstar Games had originally planned to program a very explicit sex minigame wherein the main character had to press a series of buttons in order to please the main character's girlfriend.
Now, well, this was scrapped by Rockstar for obvious reasons, but the code for the scene was still left in the game.
And upon its release for the PC in 2005, data miners quickly found the code for the cut minigame, and not long after it became known how to hack the PlayStation and Xbox versions of the game to unlock the hot coffee scene. Now, it wasn't long for the game's publisher Take-Two Interactive to figure out what was up, as they were sued by the city of Los Angeles for failing to disclose the game's sexual content.
Along with several class action lawsuits from angry parents finally figuring out why little Billy loved GTA so much.
The company was sued for over $20 million, and Rockstar was forced to release the game with the hot coffee code erased. This wouldn't be the only time Rockstar Games would be in legal trouble, though. Their game Manhunt would receive criticism for its casual sadism and overall bleakness, and more recently, Lindsay Lohan would try to sue Rockstar Games, claiming they used her likeness in advertisements for GTA 5.
Perhaps the most heartbreaking of lawsuits for me personally, as I wanted to love Cyberpunk even for its lackluster gameplay and numerous bugs, but I feel it's necessary for us to show companies that we don't appreciate misleading advertisements and forcing our developers to work on a crunch.
So in December, Cyberpunk 2077 was finally released after being delayed several times, and even though the game's sales had already exceeded its cost, investors had taken heavy losses, and one such investor in New York filed a class action lawsuit in order to recover the damages made by misleading statements. According to him, CD Projekt failed to disclose Cyberpunk was virtually unplayable on last-gen consoles, and some of the promised content was missing in the final product.
Which is true, but it's even more disappointing when you see just how much promised content was taken out of the final game.
No cutscenes, no key life events, NPCs don't have a daily routine, you can't turn wanted NPCs into the cops, elevators can't take you to unexplored parts of buildings. The list could go on and on and on and on. Nonetheless, CD Projekt Red as well as Sony and Microsoft were forced to give refunds of the game. Sony even took Cyberpunk 2077 off the PlayStation Store. And CD Projekt CEO Marcin Iwinski released a YouTube-style apology video stating that they were sorry for their game's outstanding number of glitches and were planning on releasing a series of patches and bug fixes throughout the year in hopes to quell the dumpster fire that they created for themselves. But that didn't stop fans from continuing to send angry tweets and death threats to developers. And you can't forget about the idiot that hacked into their data files in order to pirate all their games like The Witcher 3 and of course Cyberpunk.
A truly sad ending for a video game company that... Oh, who am I kidding? My file just got done downloading. I can finally play Cyberpunk for free now!